Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning about those odd, crunchy, tangy vegetables that have been around since ancient Mesopotamia, like 4,500 years. I'm talking about pickles. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell truth from fiction. Consider this. We know that laws can sometimes be strange, but is there a legal requirement that determines if a pickle is actually a pickle based on its ability to bounce? Some say for a pickle to be legally classified as such, it must bounce when dropped from a height of 1 foot. If it goes splat, it's legally just a cucumber. What do you think? Is that an actual fact? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is brine. B-R-I-N-E. Brine is a high concentration solution of salt in water, often enhanced with sugar, spices, or vinegar, used specifically to preserve or season food. When cucumbers are submerged in this salty liquid, a process called osmosis occurs, drawing water out of the vegetable and allowing the salty, flavored liquid to penetrate it. This environment encourages the growth of good bacteria, specifically Lactobacillus, which creates the acidic taste we love while preventing bad bacteria from rotting the food. The word comes from the Old English word brine, spelled B-R-Y-N-E, which essentially meant a burning, heat, or even tears. This likely refers to the stinging sensation of salt water in a wound or the burning taste of extremely salty water. Over the centuries, the word evolved from describing the ocean or tears to specifically referring to the salty liquid we use today to turn a garden-fresh cucumber into a shelf-stable snack. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about pickles. Number 1. Cleopatra credited pickles as a major secret to her health and famous beauty. Legend has it that the famous Queen of the Nile, Cleopatra, was an avid consumer of pickles and included them in her daily diet because she believed they contributed to her vitality and glowing complexion. It wasn't just a casual snack for her. She viewed the preserved vegetable as a vital part of her beauty regimen, trusting the nutrients locked inside to keep her looking young. She is known to have one of the most famous beauty routines in history, involving milk baths and oils, and some sources indicate a jar of pickles was just as important to her as her makeup. Cleopatra recognized the value of pickles so much she allegedly fed them to Julius Caesar and his legions. The Romans believed that eating pickles would give their troops physical and spiritual strength during long military campaigns, helping them endure difficult marches. So you might say the humble pickle is one of the earliest recorded superfood fads in human history, trusted by royalty to maintain beauty and by warriors to maintain the strength needed to build an empire. Number 2. Pickles actually played a pivotal role in the seafaring expeditions that led to the discovery of America. When Christopher Columbus set sail for the New World, his ships were stocked with large quantities of pickles to help keep the crew safe from scurvy. Scurvy is a dangerous and often fatal disease caused by a lack of vitamin C, and because fresh produce would rot quickly on a long ocean voyage, fermented pickles were the perfect solution to provide essential nutrients for months at a time. The fermentation process actually preserved the vitamin C in the cucumber, making them a life saving ration for sailors venturing into the unknown. Number 3. America might actually have been named after a pickle merchant. We're all taught that America was named after the explorer Amerigo Vespucci, but before he was a famous explorer, he was a ship chandler, a merchant who supplies ships with food and gear. His main commodity was pickled vegetables and salted meats, leading some historians to humorously note that the continent is technically named after a pickle dealer. Vespucci earned his reputation by supplying the best preserved goods for long voyages, ensuring that other explorers had the food security necessary to cross the Atlantic. This success in the supply chain business eventually afforded him the chance to join expeditions himself, where he proved that the new lands were not a part of Asia but a separate continent. Just goes to show that sometimes people working logistics behind the scenes are just as important as the captains steering the ship. Number 4. Pickles can actually conduct electricity and glow in the dark. If you were to hook a pickle up to an electric current, it would not only buzz and hiss, but it would actually emit a bright, glowing yellow light. The science behind this all comes down to the brine. Because the pickle is soaked in salt water, it's packed with electrolytes, specifically sodium ions and chloride ions. As I shared in the electricity episode, fresh water doesn't actually conduct electricity well, but this salty solution with those ions turns the wet pickle into an excellent conductor, allowing the electrical current to race through the vegetable and complete a circuit. The reason the pickle glows yellow specifically is due to the high concentration of sodium hidden within the cucumber cells. When the electrical energy passes through the pickle, it excites the sodium atoms, causing their electrons to jump to a higher energy state. As those electrons fall back down to their normal state, they release that excess energy in the form of photons, specifically in the yellow part of the light spectrum. It's actually the exact same chemical principle that powers yellow-tinted sodium streetlights on the highway. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: in the Mississippi Delta, people love soaking pickles in Kool-Aid. In a fascinating collision of sweet and sour flavors, a popular treat in the southern U.S. is Koolickle, which is a dill pickle soaked in strong red cherry or fruit punch Kool-Aid. The process involves draining the original brine from the jar, adding the sugar and drink powder, and letting the pickles absorb the bright red color and sugary taste for about a week. The result is a neon red pickle that looks almost radioactive, but it's a beloved staple at convenience stores and community fairs throughout the region. The flavor combination might sound strange with a mix of vinegar, salty dill, and sweet fruit punch, but it actually fits perfectly into the culinary tradition of pairing sweet and savory, similar to eating cheddar cheese on apple pie. Now for some news you can use. The next time you finish a jar of pickles, don't pour the brine down the drain. Pickle juice is actually a fantastic ingredient that can serve as a secret weapon in your kitchen. Because it's packed with salt and vinegar, it makes an incredible marinade for chicken or pork. The acid helps tenderize the meat, while the salt infuses flavor deep inside. Also, athletes swear by pickle juice as a recovery drink to stop muscle cramps. Muscle cramps are often caused by a misfire in your nerves due to a lack of electrolytes, specifically sodium and potassium. When you sweat during intense exercise, your body loses these vital salts, and your nerves can become hyperexcitable, causing your muscles to lock up involuntarily. Drinking pickle juice works wonders because it delivers a rapid, concentrated dose of sodium that restores your body's electrolyte balance much faster than water alone. Also, the vinegar in the juice is believed to trigger a reflex in the back of the throat that sends a signal to the nervous system to shut down the cramped muscle almost instantly. So keep that jar in your fridge even after the pickles are gone. It's a free marinade and a high-performance sports drink all in one. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked you about pickle law. Do you think it's true that a pickle must bounce to be legally considered a pickle? Well, at least in the state of Connecticut, that's true. It sounds ridiculous, but it stems from a very real incident in 1948. Two pickle packers were arrested for selling pickles that were unfit for human consumption. They were essentially just rotting cucumbers. During the legal proceedings, the Connecticut Food and Drug Commissioner stated that a legitimate pickle should be firm and crisp enough to bounce. To prove the point, they actually performed a bounce test in the lab. Since then, the bounce became a standard way to describe the difference between a preserved pickle and a rotten cucumber. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about pickles with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.